Hi travelers, I've got my little camera set up on my tripod here, and I'm going to pre-record this little intro so that I can put it in front of every video. So unfortunately, as you go back to look at your moon and rising signs, you'll be hearing this again, but it's okay. So I told you that for January there were going to be there's a new deck of cards and a new way that I'm going to be attempting to read the cards. The cards are the Fin de Siècle, okay, known as the Kippers, and it's not a new deck. Lots of people use them, okay. Supposedly they're like the Lenormands, only I find them to be completely different from the Lenormands, and just in my experience with them, and they, for me, are more like the La Vida Sibila cards. I've also discovered that there are a few things missing from the cards in terms of situations that could happen. There's cards that are missing that could refer or relate to some of those situations. And as we go further into the year and I continue to do more readings with them, you'll understand what I mean, because I'll talk to you about it. And so I read the little book that came with it, okay, and that's all well and good. Some of the stuff I didn't understand or I did not agree with, and so, you know me, I created my own little book, the Fin de Siècle. Now, before I talk to you about what I did with the book, I am quite sure there's going to be somebody out there who's going to come up underneath the video and be like, well, that's not how the cards are read, or that's not what the cards say, or that's not what the meanings are. And that's fine and good. I have a process of bonding with my cards, of imprinting with my cards, and I wrote about that in a little short article over on Substack about tarot hygiene. And so in imprinting with the cards, they were really talking to me a lot. And so I was able to go back in and write my own little book and add some extra interpretations into it in terms of how the cards spoke to me in combinations with other cards. And so that's what's contained in the book. All right. Now, the way the cards are going to be, here's the deck. Okay. And so they're almost like I find them completely different from the Lenormands, especially the French Lenormands, even the Dorndorf, the German Lenormands. They're completely different. I think these cards are a little bit more plain spoken. So in that regard, they behave a lot like the La Vida Sibila. I've been doing some practice pulls. I haven't necessarily had to use the Sibilas for clarification, but I may have to. That's not the fault of the cards. That would be me, the reader, not understanding what the cards are saying to me. So I will be using, perhaps, if need be, the La Vida Sibila for a bit of clarification. These are going to be shorter readings this year. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 card spread, anywhere from 6 cards to 10 card spread in a pyramid shape with 3 additional cards off to the side. Those 3 cards additional off to the side will be dealt first face down, and then the rest of the cards will be dealt face up. So the 3 cards to the side that are face down will be things that may come into play. Okay. Again, as with all readings that I do here on YouTube, these readings are free, therefore they are general. And in order to gain any insight into your own specific situation requires a personal reading. And the way that I do personal readings, how you book with me, you contact me by email, and I get your birth date and your sun sign and just your questions. I don't want to know the story. I don't need to know the story about what's going on with you. I just want to know what the questions are, and then I read for you. I do live Zoom readings for 60 minutes. Everything else is recorded, which you upload it to YouTube so that you can go in and view them, download it, save it, delete it, whatever you want to do. I don't need the reading anymore. It's yours to do whatever you want to do with it. And so I always like to give that. It's general because I'm going to be reading for so many different people of sun, moon, and rising signs. So again, if you recognize a story, then you can always just book with me. You can go over to the About Box section of my channel, and there you can find my reading packages. And I left one off, the 20-minute reading, so it's up there now in the About Box section. Once you pick your package, you simply email me, and then we go from there, okay? I have payment links, everything. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to explain to you the cards, how I came about some of these interpretations. And before I finish, I want to give a shout out to Bella Dutch, who talked to me about these cards. She said she loves them, and now I understand why. So thanks, Bella. I appreciate that. I've been looking at them for a while, but just they didn't seem interesting to me, and I had bought so many decks that didn't speak, but this deck does a lot of talking. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and then we're going to get started with the readings. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Merry Christmas. I'm actually recording on Christmas Day. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve for January. So hopefully you saw the intro. Well, obviously you saw the introduction to the Fin de Cycle, and talking about the reading and how the cards are going to be, how I'm going to be reading them. And so I have here with me the Fin de Cycle, and I haven't needed to use Sibyllus, but I'm going to pull those out, and I don't know exactly what the story is going to be, and so that's going to determine what oracle cards I will be using to wrap the reading up. I hope everyone is having a great Christmas right now. You know, that it's the first time really we've all been able to kind of get together since COVID. So hopefully everyone's taking advantage of that. Unfortunately, everybody lives far away from me, or we all live far away from each other. And then with the weather, we weren't able to travel. So, but it's all good. It's just Hannah and I, the dogs and the cat, and we're actually having a really, really good time. Remember I said Hannah, she was working. She worked Christmas Eve. She came home so tired yesterday. She's like, oh my God, Mom, those people were so rude and so mean. I was like, girl, Monday is the returns. Just wait. She got to work on Monday. So anyway, I've already done some meditation and shuffling. Oh, well, a card came out. On your sign and glyph. And so I'm going to turn the camera around so that we can actually get started. Now, the way the reading is done, there will be 3 surprise cards here. We'll look at those after we finish the actual reading itself. And then we will start with 1 card, 2, 3, and then 4, and that's going to be our pyramid. So trying to get a good shuffle on these. Alright, so we're going to cut the deck, and we're going to put our 3 surprise cards down. Those will be turned face down, and you'll get a chance to see those after we've completed the reading. So obviously, the card that presented itself is the House. Okay, next row, bad health. Great fortune. Wow, that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay. Next row, mature woman. Oh, wow. Imprisonment. Occupation. That's quite an odd line there, or sentence. So, last row, courthouse, journey, coffin, concern. Wow. That's quite interesting. So right in the center, we have the imprisonment card. Now, imprisonment can be that somebody's in jail, but it can also imply any place which is like closed, off limits, locked down, something that you can't get access to. So there is this, what comes along with this particular card is the sense of isolation, separation, things of that nature. So we start with the house. The house is just that. It is the house. It pertains to property, so real estate, land holdings. It refers to the home in which you live. What holds you and what do you hold? It speaks about security and stability. So this is a place as well. And we see bad health. So I don't know if maybe someone has been ill here in the house, but here with the Great Fortune, it gives a bit of hope that if there's been some illness or health scares here, that everything's going to turn out okay. All right. But again, we see this mature woman. So following this line here, I don't know if the mature woman, and the mature woman can be anybody. It could be you, depending on your age. It could be your mother, your grandmother, an aunt, a close friend, a mother-like figure here. Perhaps this person has been ill and has been in hospital. But here with the occupation, and particularly with the Great Fortune, says to me that the occupation is work that you enjoy doing. So I'm going to take it to mean that perhaps the person will be able to get back to work. Okay. It's just an odd sentence. And I'm going to actually take a look at this with the three Sibila cards, because it's a very, very odd kind of a sentence here. We see here, house, Great Fortune, occupation. Sometimes these two cards together can imply working for yourself, like entrepreneurship, a DIY kind of a business. It implies hobbies, all things that you really enjoy doing and can make money from, okay? But then our last row, we see courthouse. Now, the courthouse in this particular deck covers a lot of different things. It could just be that, a courthouse, but it also represents any official building. And so this card, along with this card, sometimes can indicate banks, but it talks about places where you have to go to do legal things. So this could be filing papers, or maybe getting served, or some kind of contractual issue, or paying a fine, or paying a fee, or paying taxes, something like that, right? But it's followed by the journey card. And so the journey card, this is what it's saying. The journey card implies, what's the word? All modes of transportation. So this is cars, trains, buses, bikes, everything except boats. There's a different card for that. But it implies either the arrival or departure of someone. It has an indication of round trips. And sometimes this card can simply be the idea that it's time for you to get moving. But coming here with the courthouse card, if it were like this, I would say that maybe you have to travel there for some kind of legal business. But here, it is the opposite way. It is the courthouse and then the journey card. And it also lets me know that the journey, from the journey to the coffin, tells me that whatever that trip or that thing is, it comes to an end. There isn't a card. This card can sometimes represent a death. For me, it comes with two different types of, to me, there's another card that kind of indicates that together, but it very well could be that. And it just says that whatever has been happening has to come to an end. It's over. It's finished. It's done with. But on the back side of that, we have some concern. And concern can be the idea that you don't know what to do about the situation. You're unable perhaps to think straight or think clearly. It doesn't to me indicate someone who's a thoughtful person because it's not falling next to a significator card. So it is quite the interesting card. Let me see if I can come up with any additional information here. As I said to you guys, I've spent some time with these cards and they have spoken to me and gave me additional things, my own interpretations. So let's see. Sometimes this card can be like an intensifier, bringing attention to anything or a person, someone that's making you sick or ill. So I don't know if this is someone's job that they've been doing is making them sick, and now there's some legal issue, not necessarily sick, but it's just not a good situation for them, and now there's a legal issue perhaps that has come up. But this card can also indicate someone here who's being extremely pessimistic. Okay, the occupation card. Now, it can also be sometimes an indication of mental and physical activities. The starting of something or the beginning of a project that will require lots of time and effort. But again, to me, that doesn't necessarily talk to me about what this row is saying. Imprisonment. I see that. Great fortune. Courthouse. Just 1 second. It's not the message of concern, it is concern. Leave your old situation behind for new horizons. But it is followed by the coffin card here. So the coffin card talks about here with the concern card, this could be some kind of bad news, but it's not the message. And it could be an indication of, particularly with these three cards here, that perhaps whatever the legal issue is about to come to an end. And right now, you're a bit worried about it, right? That to me is what the card is saying. 1 second. Great fortune. This is the luckiest card in the deck. So let's move over to bad health. This is the card I want to take a look at. Number 31. If it is above, it's not above a significator. It's just implying that professionally, it describes a temporary break, either from inability to act or minor illness, particularly here with this card. So to me, it says that there's some kind of temporary break, but that temporary break is really like a respite. It's something lucky and good. And right now, perhaps the situation is such that there's no movement. confinement. Someone's feeling confinement and being able to do what they want to do. This is what that's saying, yes. And so, as I was going to say, it just has to talk to me. I want to see something else here. 1 second. The Great Fortune card. The Journey card. I'm trying to look over all of the cards to see exactly if there was a timing of when this this could have been back in the summer. But because that is Fortuna, who's generally, to me, has the cornucopia with all the vegetables and fruits coming out of it, right? The harvest. It can also be an indication of fall. That's just my own interpretation because of the way I think of Fortuna. You've seen her here. So this doesn't say to me necessarily that this situation will be ending soon. It's just saying that you're worried about it coming to an end, right? And perhaps it's bothering you. Now, I don't know who this mature woman is, okay? As I said, it could be you. This is still an odd, to me, trio of cards. So I'm going to see if these Sibilas can tell me a bit more, and then we'll turn the 3 cards over here, okay? That's a funny looking even though this is not an interpretation that I've seen surrounding these cards, to me the bad health card can also, particularly here with the house, can indicate that something is not right in the home. There maybe it might be a property issue or a just something not right. You know what I mean? I'm going to lay 3 cards across this. It's a strange reading. The Allegrezza al Cuore, happiness of the heart. The Disgrazia. And the Ammalato. Well, that's a strange. So it tells me that whatever this situation refers to, there is some real joy and pleasantry and happiness around the situation, right? But then something occurred. It is the tragedy card, and it speaks about tears, humiliation, rejection, dejection. Sometimes it can be that idea of something happening out of the blue. Nevertheless, we see the fire. It's like an emergency has occurred. So this could be the idea of something happening out of the blue. But here with the Amante male, implies to me is an intensifier. It is the idea of having to wait for this situation to resolve itself. Okay, what are the cards that are going to come into play? The false person. Courtship and marriage. These 2 cards together speak to someone trying to seduce you and talk you into something. Okay, something that is not in your best interest. We can see here the Cupid there does not have his arrow drawn. So this is the idea that it's not quote-unquote love at first sight, or you're not that thrilled about whatever it is. But then here with the marriage card, well, marriage is just that, marriage. But it can also be an indication of a contractual issue. Remember, I'm talking to you about going down to the courthouse? Whenever the false person shows up, it's never a good thing. Okay. Because it does indicate someone who is working against you. So hold on, I've got my whole thing that I put together with the false person. Hold on. This tells me that it's someone here, because it has an influence over it, someone that may be in your circle of friends or acquaintances, even in your home. It could be an indication that there's a witness against you. With the courtship card. Oh, wait a minute. Courtship is number 4. Right. Someone trying to talk you into something. Okay. This is some kind of relationship. Personal, business, friendship, but a contract. This is the contract. And so now the bad health card to me yeah, whatever this thing is, okay, bad health, whatever this situation is about, it almost comes up as though, yeah, it's bad, but something happens and you it is the power to annul any bad luck and misfortune. Okay, now it can talk about new opportunities and new perspectives, but I don't think that's what's happening here, particularly with the Disgrazia card. So I think what this is that somebody has or will be attempting to get you to do something or seduce you or talk you into something, to sign some kind of contract. Okay. And I don't know if this is a property issue, but it ends up kind of falling apart. It could be that they're saying to you, like, you know, things aren't that great for you. Let me try to help you out with whatever it is. Because like I said, the bad health card is, particularly with the house, it's kind of saying something is not right, either with the property, maybe the work that you've been doing. But the great fortune kind of comes in to say, like, you know, something's going to be offered to you, something of good luck is going to be offered to you. But if you accept it, it's going to cause problems for you. Most definitely. So I would consider rethinking whatever it is that crops up. We're going to do angel answer cards and Golden Nostradamus. Let's start with the Golden Nostradamus first to see if he has anything to impart to us. I would be very circumspect about signing any new documents. We are under a Mercury retrograde. And any offers, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, more than likely it is. You know, so be cautious and be circumspect. All right, Golden Nostradamus first. Formulate your question. This could, you know, the courtship card includes personal, business, friendships, bonds, alliances, friends. It's not the love card. Okay. If it were these two cards together, then it would be, I would be talking about a romantic relationship, even a marriage. But courtship does not imply love by itself. It has to be supported by this card and another card. Okay. True love. So this tells me it's somebody around you in your circle of friends, acquaintances. You know, it could even be a family member, for all I know, because the house is here. Definitely something going on with your home, around your home, about your home. So, formulate your question for the angel answer cards. It's like, oh, you get out of it, but then something else happens again. And there's a legal issue that crops up. And in effect, this card is telling me that, and this card is telling me that. Something, it's like you avert the problem. Yay, great fortune, but then something else occurs. I don't know if it's caused by this mature woman or not. Here's your card. It says you're ready. I don't know what that means, but here we go. Okay, the number 19, the castle. The headstrong bold pursue their hopeless dreams, while cowards never act, they only scheme. Be bold, passionate, and challenge yourself before challenging others. Be careful of being overconfident, and be sure that you understand what your true aspirations are. You're ready? Oh, there was a card underneath that. It says the situation will improve. I didn't even know that. It was stuck to the back of the book. Okay, so you got 2 cards. Okay, so you're ready. Let's see what this has to say. All of your past experiences have led to this moment. You've studied and grown spiritually in many ways. There is nothing more to do. You are ready to move forward and to embrace the person you know in your heart you are meant to be. Remember I said that's one of the cards, but I think you're being rather circumspect. The world is anxiously awaiting the contributions that following your life purpose will provide. You may have to put yourself first in this situation, but it is time to do what is right for you. The situation will improve. The angels want you to know that they are aware that things look difficult right now. However, the situation is going to improve. It may take some time, and there will most likely be some hard work ahead of you. But the effort that you put forth will be worth it, and things are going to get better. Now is not the time to give up on wounded friendships or ailing relationships. There is still hope for the future. Take heart and continue to work toward a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future. Personally, I don't think this is talking about that kind of partnership. So I'm going to say in that sense, it is talking about being in partnership with yourself. Do what's best for yourself. Make the decision that is best for you. Because for sure, someone is trying to steer you in the wrong direction. And they're doing it on purpose to take advantage of you. Okay? So, there you have it. Hope this helps. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.